Go on, guys, Bree, get one of yourself done. And what a great goal! Not so. Shoots! Oh!
What is happening, everybody, and welcome back to Only Leeds Bros. Hope everybody is keeping and doing well, and you're very welcome along to Friday night's live stream, where we bring you all the latest transfer news around Elland Road. We're going to talk about a few bits and bobs that were floating around the last couple of days, and then, of course, how can we not speak about it? Leeds United take on AC Milan tomorrow in the Aviva Stadium in Dublin, with expected over 50,000 Leeds fans to be there. It's going to feel like a home away from home, Dylan. It's going to be an unbelievable day out, but we'll get into all that. But before we do, please make sure you're dropping a like on the video, and of course we'd love you to hit subscribe to the channel as well. We're very, very close to 3,500, which will be absolutely fantastic. Dillo, how are you?
Buzzing. Absolutely buzzing.
Feels like Christmas Eve, Dill, doesn't it?
Oh, it's unbelievable. You know, it's just, I said it to you the other day, my first ever Leeds games in Talca Park. I think you were lucky to have about 500 people there, if even. You know, back in the days, obviously Gary Kelly was playing, Alan Smith, you know, small venue like Talca Park, to now 51,000 in the Aviva, and then we're in Dublin, so what's not to enjoy? So absolutely buzzing. On the other side, sign some players with this.
Yeah, we will get into that. Yeah, Dylan, as you said, look, I'm buzzing for tomorrow. Look, Leeds have played obviously over here in Ireland a couple of times, but probably not at this level, not at this magnitude. As you said, it was League One Leeds that we had over here for years, and as you said, in a very, very small stadium like Talca Park. But to be, you know, a Premier League Leeds United, to be coming over here, 50,000 plus in the National Stadium, and with the travelling support, I went and I collected Matty from Imagine Up in Leeds up in the airport, and Dublin Airport was just a sea of blue, yellow and white. There was Leeds jerseys absolutely everywhere. I actually want to shout out a big thought to some of the Leeds fans that are travelling now. Manchester Airport, I believe the flight from Aer Lingus was actually cancelled, so there's loads of Leeds fans trying to get from Manchester Airport to Holyhead to try and get over for the game tomorrow. So hopefully they get over and they get everything sorted. But yeah, as you said, Dylan, it's just going to be an unbelievable day tomorrow, you know, for everyone involved, for everyone that's going to be there. I've already seen some videos of the Leeds fans taking over Temple Bar as well. So yeah, just buzzing. As I said, it's like Christmas Eve, birthdays, and everything all rolled into one. So gonna be a fabulous day, Dylan. But we will talk about that kind of more towards the end of the show, Dylan. Before we do get into it, let's see who's in the building this Friday night to join us. John Pepper is here. He says, hate to be like this, guys. None of them will be Leeds players. I'm sorry. Yeah, look, in fairness, buddy, I probably agree with you. You don't have to be sorry. I probably agree with you as well. But obviously, this is the news that's kind of floating about, and I'm kind of starting to get the feeling that Leeds are starting to kind of scrape the barrel a little bit. There's no real kind of genuine kind of links out there at the minute, and we'll get into the KHANNOUSS one and BUONANOTTE as well. Danny Talks Lee says, smash a like and subscribe, please do that. That would be fantastic. Pierre is here as well. Evening, Pierre. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Who else have we got with us? Daniel is here as well. Plenty of time to panic before the window closes, if needs be. I don't want to do it before I have to. Yeah, I'm trying to be the same. I'm trying to keep the panic in check, but it's very, very tough to do. So Inky is here as well. Says evening, bros. Danny and all. Evening, Inky. Thanks for popping in, brother. We've got Richard here as well. Says evening, lads. Jam the Welsh Wizard says evening, bros, and also the chat class, buddy. Thanks for popping in. All right, Jens. Hope to cross paths with you in Dublin tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely, Derek. Myself and Dylan's plan tomorrow is to head to Sarson's on Baggett. Yeah, Sarson's on Baggett Street for about 12:30, 1 o'clock ish. As I said, we'll be with Matty from Imagine Not Being Leeds, a couple of other Leeds supporters, Dara from Leeds that as well. It was obviously Irish as well. We're all going to be there, and then we'll head to the Camden then after the game. So hopefully we do cross paths as well, buddy. It's going to be a fantastic day. I can't wait to meet everyone tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Richard LUFC Just a Fan says excited for the trip tomorrow. Dublin, here we come. Definitely feels like Christmas Eve. Hoping to unwrap a new player or two soon. That would be very, very good, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to get a couple of surprises, Dylan, with an unveiled player tomorrow. Would be absolutely quality. Happy Aviva Eve, says Stephen Bourne. Yeah, big shout out to Stephen Bourne as well. Just an absolute legend of a man. Can't say any more about him. Look, just a legend. Gavin James says, Danny, I agree with you. Can't be playing catch up when this league starts. Exactly. We can't be playing catch up. We need to get it sorted. Dylan, I think we're getting the Loges in the building, guys. So again, thanks very much for joining us on your Friday night. We do really, really appreciate it. Dylan, let's talk about Balad El KHANNOUSS again. It's starting to get to the stage where we were like with Igor Peugeot, where it seems like every stream that we were talking about him. But look, we got a bit of news Dylan during the week. It was obviously reported from Sasha Tavlieri that playing European football wasn't the deal breaker for Bilal El-Khanous, and that Leeds United had scheduled a meeting with the player and representatives over the coming days. That was 2 days ago. In the meantime, we heard the news about Tottenham Hotspur, about James Maddison getting his ACL injury, and there is reports out there now that Tottenham are showing a little bit of interest in Bilal El-Khanous as a potential replacement for the injured James Maddison. And again, Dylan, we spoke about this when this one first came up, that it was one that we'd like to get done. The release clause is there. What's the hold up? Because it looks like, and it never is like this, but it looks like on paper it's an easy one to get done. We know the release clause finishes on the 15th of August. We know it's 24 million. Talk to the player, see if he wants to come and get the deal done. It's dragging on a bit now, Dylan, so there has to be something. Is he doing the same as Peugeot, telling Leeds he's interested to kind of get the move that he really wants to, i.e. Spurs, Crystal Palace are showing interest as well? What's going on with this one?
I was literally about to say that. I think that's what it is. I think it's a lot of noise, and then he's going to make some sort of, make-up story of why he wanted to play for Spurs all his life, and Maddison being injured. I can just, I was literally going to say that, and you hit the nail on the head. Now, the other side of it is, it's interest, we all know that, but there could be other noise in the background. For example, different players, different players, or they're waiting for certain links, to die down, obviously interests from other clubs, etc. So,
yeah,
it's a waiting game, but it's one that I'm very interested in.
This is what it feels like, what Pierre says here, Dylan. I think it's the agent and the player waiting for offers to come, and we can't be hanging around, Dylan. We haven't got the time. We can't afford to be doing this.
No, definitely. I've been saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. I wanted everyone in more or less for tomorrow. One, because I wanted to see them, because it's not every day Leeds come to Dublin, and then two, just to be more secure and ready to go, from Monday week for when we're against Everton.
Yeah.
I still have faith in the 49ers, I do. I just hate being late Leeds. That's what I'm going to call us. We're always late, before the start of the season, and then if it's a player that we didn't get, then you're going, we'll wait till January. January's not good enough.
Yeah.
Who's to say if we get a bad start to the run of the season, we all know how Fark is as it is. And then potentially if it's sackings and all this sort of stuff, then it just gets messy. Just get the business done now, and then there'll be no excuses from the fans if things did go haywire.
Yeah, no, Dylan. Yeah, I 100% agree with you as well, and it is kind of. I think anyone that kind of watches OnlyLeedsBros is that we try and stay as level-headed as we possibly can. We try and give both sides of the argument, and why a certain section of the fan base is feeling like this, and then obviously our own feelings with it as well. And yeah, I'm kind of like that as well. I'm trying to check myself and bring myself back in. That look at the positions that we're looking at the minute, Dylan, is obviously the most sought after position in football. It's it's them attacking players. It's the creativity. If you're you're attacking midfielder, your left wingers, your strikers, they're the ones who score the goals. Basically, they are the cherries on the cake. But I spoke about it with Mike as well on the way back from the airport, and the window has been a fantastic window, Dylan. When you do look at it overall, the players that we've brought in, very unexpected players. In theory that we've got in Lucas Perry, Anton Stack, Bial as well. Newcastle, we're taking a late swoop for him as well. So the window has been very, very good overall of the players that we've brought in. It is just the last 9 to 10 days now. It's gone very, very quiet, and it feels like it's very thin on the ground. And as was mentioned there, it feels like we're kind of just scraping the bottom of the barrel a little bit after Peugeot. It feels a little bit like now, and as it mightn't be this case, but to me it feels like we put all our eggs in the Peugeot basket, and we're kind of scrambling now to kind of see, what's out there and what's the best option. It feels like the similar case as well with Bilal El-Khanous. When it first came up, I said, yeah, lovely, go get him. Release clause, player wants to play in the Premier League. This should be an easy one. And with it dragging on a little bit, this what has me a little bit worried, Dylan. As I said in the video on Wednesday, I'm very much on the fence whether this one gets done. I'm probably more leaning to the side that I don't think it gets done, because there's clearly something there that's holding it all up. But
it would have been done.
Yeah, Dylan, it's action time now. Obviously, tomorrow's the last pre-season game. Monday, it all kicks off, in the Premier League. And realistically, the way it looks now at the moment, and look, it can turn on a sixpence with the 49ers. Looks like we're not going to have a striker in the door, full-back cover, possibly anyone before then.
I think, it's very simple for us to sit here in front of a camera and, give out or be positive and all that. And I am, lads. I am. The 49ers have done a terrific job in the window. They've done a terrific job, including Daniel Farke and the players, to get us back into the Premier League. I'm looking at it from a different side from when they told us they're going to spend every single penny. I know that market can be up and down. I get all that. I'm not expecting you to just go out and spend the money on buy players, whatever. I know that you need to have the right fit for the right culture. I get all that. The other side of it is, come the end of the window, we don't have the players in. But now, as I said, we're going to have to wait till January. So we've been let down. They didn't spend all the money, waiting for January. God only knows where we're going to be. God only knows what shape we're going to be in. Or if Daniel Farke or even certain players are going to be here. You just don't know. I personally think you should go back in for Solomon. That's just me. If he doesn't want this game time or he's not going to get played in Tottenham, I think it's a no-brainer. If KHANNOUSS is waiting for, I think someone put it up there. But anyway, long story short, he said we can't play the waiting game, and we can't. There's no time for error here.
Yeah, and like with the Solomon one as well, Dylan. And again, it's another conversation we have about Matty because the drive was about a half an hour, 35 minutes, and we spoke about the Solomon one now as well. And I don't know what it is. I feel like that could be one that we probably do revisit because the more that this is dragged on, it more looks like that could be possibly the one that we do go back down that avenue and explore on. And look, I wouldn't be completely against that. And I can understand where people saying it feels a little bit underwhelming, but when that final whistle went in the season, he scored that winning goal to win us the championship. Everyone was saying, Solomon was a must when obviously he decided he wanted to go back and, give it a bash at Spurs, which you can't really blame him. Look, if Spurs are established Premier League club, new manager, new ambition. He went back there, it hasn't worked out. I believe he's injured now as well. I think it's an ankle injury or a calf injury. I think he's struggling with it at the minute. But I wouldn't be against turning around and saying, I don't want Solomon now, he's not good enough. We seen and we heard Farke saying after Villarreal as well, and Smarty has it here. If it does feel like we're missing that sort of threat, he's definitely a level above the Championship, and obviously that level is the Premier League. So I wouldn't be completely against saying no to Manor Solomon now. It's just because that level of Peugeot that we were at was a very, very high ceiling, and it was going to be very high to either match that or top the Peugeot one. So it was always going to be a little bit underwhelming whoever we got after that. And look, if Solomon is available, then I'd take him at this stage because time is ticking, time is running out to get these players.
Time is ticking. We can't be waiting for KHANNOUSS to go. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to Leeds, give us, and then Spurs swoop in and give him a better offer, and then all of a sudden then we're going. But he's done it again. He's put all your flowers in one basket for Peugeot. It didn't work out. Now you're doing it with KHANNOUSS and it didn't work out. We know what way Solomon. Look, that's just me. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I just think when Solomon did come on loan, including myself, who is this fella? Is he any good? You see a glimpse of him in highlights in the Premier League, etc. But he's done well. He's done very well. We know what to expect from him. So for me, that don't get me wrong. If he doesn't want to come, or there's no way that he can go, and it's fair enough. But the offer's there. I'd definitely jump at it. I think KHANNOUSS now, it's just, as I said, it's getting very sloppy and messy. And
like there's obviously there's two different sides of it as well, Dylan. It's obviously like you have the ones, as I said, look, I'm very much on the fence. Like I'm not completely, panicking a little bit. I'm not too relaxed either. I'm very much kind of sitting forward, going like something needs to happen now in the next couple of days. But then you've Shane here then says patience is called for. Let there be no panic as well. So you've got other people, that fully believe and trust in the 49ers that we do get it done, and that may turn out to be the case, or it may not be what we've seen with the number 10 back in January, where we were all crying out for the number 10 last summer, and in January, and the 49ers didn't go for it. So it can go either way. This Smarty says here, seems like Leeds are waiting for other dominoes to be put in place to make a proper moves for the right players, which I also think is naive. The first game is huge versus Everton, and I agree as well, Dylan. To you, Dylan, like, do you feel like that is a dangerous game to play? I understand dominoes can of course fall in your favour and you get that player that you wanted, and you could possibly get a very good player. But if it doesn't go in your way as well, then you're left, empty-handed, aren't you? It's a dangerous one to play for me.
Look, I think the first game of the season for anyone, the shackles are off. There's not so much to play for. So just go out and try and win the game, and that's what I'd be basing it off. But I agree with Shane. There's no time to panic. But certainly on the last day of the transfer window, I'll be panicking if there's new names from now till then coming in the door, because you're still potentially talking about, fullbacks. You're still talking about a 10. You're still talking about another striker. You're talking about a winger. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not panicking yet. I'm not, because this happened a few weeks ago. Went very quiet for a week or two, and then all of a sudden, then a few signings came in the door. But it needs to we need to start getting the ball rolling a little bit more. We need to make some more signings. For me, anyway.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Dylan. 100%. And look, we were kind of saying from the start of this window that we kind of had our eye on this AC Milan game, not with it only being in Dublin, but with it being the last game of pre-season. And basically, this is the one where Fark, the team that he puts out tomorrow, you would expect is in his head, his starting 11 for that first game against Everton. Look, we know the situation with Bogle. He could possibly be injured for tomorrow, or the first game of the season as well. But more or less next to the starting 11 that you want, Dylan, and it doesn't feel quite complete at the minute. It just feels like we are missing them couple of pieces. Like, and I probably think, Dylan, at the minute that like 3 is definitely for me still the minimum. If we can get more and obviously tap into that loan market, that would be fantastic. But definitely kind of left-sided player or a number 10, I'd be okay with either one of them. 100% a striker and full back cover. We've gone through. For me, Dylan, 3 is like the minimum.
Essential.
I think anything less than that, Dylan, we're not doing ourselves justice, and we're giving ourselves an uphill battle of what's already ahead of us in the season.
100%. 100% agree with you. That's minimum. Like, I'm probably being a bit greedy. I would say 4 or 5 maybe, but like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Possibly,
well.
if you get them 3 and then flesh out your squad a little bit with them loan moves, if you get a couple of even the likes of the Ben Doak, Dylan, who we are going to get on to, like someone like him, if you get him on a loan from Liverpool, do you know what I mean? I feel one of that criteria of one of them loan spots, I'd be happy enough with that. But we'll obviously go into Ben Doak a little bit more in detail. But as I said, like it's the minimum them 3, Dylan, that we need to get it done, and we need to get sorted. And it's not like there isn't fullbacks out there that are available that could do a job in the Premier League. Just to name a few. And when you look at Kufal as well, for me, an experienced Premier League right back, and we can really rival Jayden Bogle as won a European Cup as well with West Ham United, very experienced. Like, he's a free agent, go after him. Tommy Asu, I was injured at the minute, but a good player, can play on both sides for Arsenal as well. We've talked about James Justin, so there is players out there. Look, and Leeds mightn't be looking at any of them. They might have someone in mind, that they think then they can go and they can look at. But it's imperative, Dylan, that I think we get it done. Because we said it, and most of the guys in the chat that we spoke about at the start, is that we needed a 9 or a 10 hour window, Dylan, and a little bit of luck to survive in this Premier League next season, because we've seen 100%. What happened the last 3 years with these players. And you look at the bits that Sunderland just seem to be in free spending at the minute. Every time I go on Twitter, they're linked to someone, or Romano's given the here we go, that someone else is going to them. At Burnley picked up the striker as well today from Chelsea as well. So it feels like at the minute, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, and I'm hoping it's just the anxiety getting to me. It feels like Leeds are falling behind a little bit right now.
I just don't want to go in, as I said, and losing games, and then everyone start pointing their fingers at Fark. It can be Fark to a certain degree, I get that, but it's clearly 49ers. As I said, if we don't get the names or the players in from now until the end of the transfer window, then we're not giving ourselves a full shot at it, are we? Then it's a meltdown, including myself, everyone. Like, we've seen it before, lads. You know what I mean? It's like a nightmare that happens. And it could potentially happen if they don't get more signs in the door. Come here, look, at the end of the day, the first few games of the season, it's the gloves off and go at it. Yeah. But when you start running into Christmas, then that's when you need to start picking up a few points. Yeah. So we can't wait for the window, we need to get it done now.
Ideally, Dylan, I think it would have been the perfect scenario to have everyone in, for this last game, and to have everyone in ahead of Everton. Look, I don't think it's make or break if we don't have a striker in before Everton. I think, like, for that game against Everton, I even think with the likes of Pirro up front, I think we could still beat Everton. I think the first game back in the Premier League, Monday night, under the lights at Elland Road, the place is going to be absolutely rocking. It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere, and I think Leeds United will win that game, even with the squad that we do have at the minute. But then you look at the games then that we have, I think it's Arsenal after that, and then Newcastle at home, so you're hitting, you're really starting to get into it. But that's when it needs to be done, Dylan. That's when the players need to be in the door, getting ready for the battle and the season ahead. So it's not make or break, Ideally, we want them in before Everton, but it's not make or break if it doesn't happen. But I think at the minute, for me, it's the lack of kind of rumours that's out there. There's a lack of links at the minute, with the players we want. We've seen Evan Gestede as well go to Aston Villa, which I think is an unbelievable signing for them. I would have loved Leeds to go get him. But just like everywhere else you look, you see other teams kind of picking up and doing bits, and you're kind of just like, come on, Leeds, let's just get it done and give ourselves the best chance.
Yeah, 100%. It's simply based on who wants to come to Leeds. We've said it before with the 49ers, they have to sell it to the players. And if he's not sold by now with the interest that Leeds are giving him, but then he clearly doesn't want to be here. So move on. But then on the other side, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We just have to wait and see. But you are right, I do agree with you. The links are very loose. There's not many names popping up like from day to day basis. And then when they do pop up like that, you'd probably, let's say 3 names popped up, you'd be lucky to sign one of them, and the other 2, just go somewhere else, and, we're back to the drawing board again. But you'd like to think that the 49ers do have replacements for all these players that we have been linked with, have them come, obviously, including KHANNOUSS. There's interest. We know that. Spurs now have interest. So go and do it. And if you don't do it, let's hope you have a backup.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. Easy is here. He says, lads, you're falling into the brainwash trap. You're convincing yourselves that Leeds will struggle. The 49ers have never let us down. Arsenal lost against Villarreal. We'll get another 5 players. I hope you're right, buddy. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say, look, I'm being brainwashed. Look what I said.
No,
but, I'm very much on the fence with it at the minute. I said I'm not ultra positive as you, Easy, saying we get 5 in the door. I don't think we get that many in, and if we do, I'll hold my hands up and completely say I was wrong. But I'm also not terribly relaxed yet. I'm very much in the middle. That it's getting to the stage now where I would have ideally liked it. Most of our work to be done, maybe just another one to kind of get done, and we had that core squad, we had our striker, the most important position in football. So that's probably like where I'm at the minute. But I wouldn't say I'm being brainwashed or kind of ultra negative or anything like that at the minute. I'm still very much under the illusion that we do get it done and we will be ready for the Premier League season. But it's more get going, get it done, and put us all to ease. Is more so
shut us all up.
Yeah, Dylan, let's speak about this one for Facundo Buonanotte, because he was linked with Leeds United as well back. It was in summer last year, and then very loosely again in January. We know he was on loan at Leicester City last year as well. A very, very good player, Dylan. A player that I'd love at Leeds United, don't get me wrong. Like, he would be unbelievable if we get this done. It originally came out from Ben Jacobs, so I wasn't gonna, go too much into it. I wasn't gonna report it. But basically, the first report from Ben Jacobs said Leeds have genuine interest in Brighton midfielder Facundo Buonanotte. Sorry, I lost my trail of thought there. Currently low confidence of pulling off this ambitious move. Buonanotte has several suitors, including Champions League club Borussia Dortmund, have held talks and are considering a bid. Then Adam Pope then from the BBC said Brighton attacking midfielder Facundo Buonanotte is admired by Leeds United, but is expected to join Champions League club Borussia Dortmund, reportedly interested in this one, Dylan. So it felt a little bit weird because obviously, as I said, when it came out from Ben Jacobs, I was like, look, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole with him, because we know he can be very, very hit or miss. He either gets one on the money, he could get one right, and the other 9 of them wrong. So it was kind of like, let's see how this goes. But obviously, Adam Pope then with the BBC ran with this one today, and obviously it looks like he's going to Borussia Dortmund. But again, Dylan, this could have been one that maybe if Leeds looked at earlier on in the window and kind of approached it and got it done, it feels like one that slipped through the fingers. But to be in talks with these type of players, Dylan, for me, it has to be a positive that these are the ones that we're looking at.
Yeah, you've talked about it off air. I think the names that Leeds have been linked with is phenomenal. If I'm being honest with you, just I don't know every footballer in the world, but there's been a good few this window I do know. I've seen glimpses of and like that going onto YouTube to watch them, and he's certainly one of them. I did see the link. Yeah, look, he's young, he's agile, he needs that kind of rocket up there, yourself.
Yeah.
And Leeds could be the right place for him. But then on the other hand, if Dortmund do come calling Champions League football, he's young, as I've just said, it could be a head turn for him. But like you said, it's rumours. But I do think, and what you said, I really do, I have to give praise to a certain degree of the names that we have been linked with, because they are very good footballers. So yeah, look, it's one of them things, whether it'll happen or not. Will he get ahead of Dan James? I don't know. It's the competition, we keep saying.
And again, Dylan, it's this question with him as well, with Buonanotte as well, is that, what has Fark got in his head, what sort of formation, if it is the 4-2-3-1, well, then obviously he suits that, because he's very much that creative number 10. If it's a 4-3-3, then you're pushing the player with that kind of creative, central kind of role, you're pushing him out to the right hand side, where it looks more so we need someone on the left hand side. We'll obviously get into Ben Doak as well, that he's a right hand sided player as well. So for me, if we are even looking at these type of players, then it's more so telling me that Fark still is looking at that 4-2-3-1.
I don't know, there's something in my head
especially the likes of KHANNOUSS though as well, Dylan, because his primary position is that central area, is centre mid or attacking midfielder. Buonanotte, his primary position is that attacking midfielder, is this 10 position that we seem to be shopping in. So I don't know, I'm just getting the feeling that it is going to be 4-2-3-1. even though I like the 4-3-3, I'd rather play 4-3-3. But just with the players who've been linked to it, and look, we mightn't get them, and we might get a left winger and happy days. But just feels like at the minute that's my feeling on it. It's going to be 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, look, I just don't know. I don't really know what to say. I think with the way he sets up tomorrow, will give us a good insight of what way he's going to set up, as you said, against Everton. But then like that, you know what I mean? You'll be taking notes, you know, pictures, you name it. And you could completely change it altogether. Completely mad formation where we're going. What's going on here? You just don't know. Like, at the end of it, I'm delighted that he is playing different positions, and I'm delighted at the fact that he's been linked with, you know, you said it before, it was actually you that kind of came up with it, that he's playing with these, he's linked with these players that, you know, can play in different positions, utility player, if that's what you want to say. So that's kind of really positive. I like that idea of it, because it just means that we've more plan A, plan B, plan C sort of narrative. So it's, you know.
Yeah. Danny Talks Leeds says here, it's all down to the players who are looking to play, looking if they want to play at a relegation threatened team next season, and that's it as well. They're going to look at that. And as much as Leeds fans, we're going to turn around and say, you know, look, we're a big club, we're not going to be in a relegation, but they're obviously looking at a team being promoted from the Championship. We've spent more time outside the Premier League in the last 20 years than what we have in it, so this can be a deal breaker. We've obviously heard from KHANNOUSS that, you know, that wasn't a deal breaker for him once you were a Premier League club. So yeah, I think Danny's on the money with that one. That obviously can be a deal breaker when players are looking at that, you know, teams coming up, you know, can they do it? It's tough to convince them, but we've shown that we've brought in. Exactly, yeah, I'd agree with that as well. And the other side as well, look what has been sold into the likes of Lucas Perry, Anton Stack, Bial as well. So we have got good players in as well, you know, by selling them, you know, this Leeds United dream.
Definitely. And then on the other hand of it as well, Darren, I mean, you've said it, well, you've actually said it religiously. What's going the other way? That's what I'm really nervous for now. Is it going to be an offload for Leeds in the sense of, for PSR reasons, to get certain players in? I don't, look, I'm baffled. I've come to the point now with this window where I'm just kind of like, just want me to do it for you, lads. At this stage. You know, not that I have a clue what I'm doing, but sure, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Then let's get into a couple of the comments here as well. Jamie says, I like this channel, nice and mellow, cheers. But yeah, like as I said, we obviously tried to have a little bit of debate. We try not to be ultra negative. I don't think we're very ultra positive either. Just we always try to, you know, see both sides of it. But thanks very much for your comment, buddy. Do really appreciate that.
Thanks, John.
Even the YEP have been kept quiet on the transfer information. Yeah, they have been, Richard. Yeah, fairness, they have been. And I seen.
I reckon that's from the 49ers. Sorry for going to go.
Yeah, 100%. I seen Phil Hay tweet today about the phone up in the West Stand as well, and I look back and I thought, and it's just, he was the GOAT. Do you know what I mean? When it was coming, like, forget about Romano, like when it was coming from Phil Hay or any sort of links, you knew there was something incredible in it. So, I missed the days of Phil Hay that you just used to go on Twitter, you know, not look at any of the others, just straight in, search Phil Hay, see what he's saying, and you couldn't anywhere to go from. So yeah, love to bring back Phil, but what can you do? Guys, you going to the AC Milan match tomorrow? I believe Jerry will be at the game, as well as doing a Q&A segment with two Leeds legends. Yeah, we're heading to the match tomorrow, buddy. As I said, we're not going to head down to the Camden because it's a little bit from where we're travelling from. We're like travelling more or less towards the stadium then to try and go to the Camden to come back. So we're going to be hanging around Baggett Street sort of area. Now we're going to go to Sarson's first and kind of start there and have a few points, meeting loads of Leeds fans there, and then after the game we'll possibly go back to the Camden then after that. And regards Jerry, I did hear, I seen he put up on Twitter as well today that he's doing a bit of a Q&A, and there's Leeds legends meant to be knocking about tomorrow, around the Camden tomorrow. So if you are in Dublin tomorrow and you're in around the Camden area, definitely that is the place to go. As I said, just for us it's a bit out of our way to kind of counterproductive, try and get there and then get back to the stadium, but we will be heading back after the game when it's a little bit more relaxed, and hopefully Leeds United will win tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully to see you there, buddy. Easy says 4-2-3-1 will be our formation, no way 4-3-3. There'll be no creativity. We'll always be trying to come back from a goal down. We have good players, and there will be more before the window closes. Yeah, look, the 4-3-3, Dylan, you've obviously spoke about it as well. The 4-3-3 looks good in pre-season. It has worked well for us. It's an option that we can use, but I just can't seem to pull myself away from this 4-2-3-1. what Daniel Farke, especially kind of what he done last pre-season when he went to 5 at the back with the flying wing backs, and everyone's like, oh, he's gonna go 3 centre backs and 2 wing backs, and we were gonna essentially go 5 at the back, and then the first game then against Portsmouth we completely reverted back to the 4-2-3-1, and I don't know, I just have a feeling that's Daniel Farke's kind of standpoint, and that's he'll kind of live and die by that.
I like the 4-3-3. I think the wingers kind of get a bit more involved, and then, but let's be honest, probably gives the likes of Tanaka that bit more freedom. But the 4-2-3-1 makes more sense for me in the Premier League. So I just don't know, lads. It's going to be his call at the end of the day. And to answer Shane's question, on paper, yeah. But watching
that's a cracking question. Everyone else in the chat as well, if you'd like to answer this as well, because I actually think that's a brilliant question from Shane. I think yeah. I think you'd have to say yeah, because if you look at them players, now don't get me wrong, they're legends in my eyes. Like say, Luke Gale and Stuart Dallas, even Paddy Bamford to do what he done. Like if you look at the way their careers were going, and we know it was Bielsa, we know what he done, but yeah, Dylan, Shane has a point there, isn't it? Yeah, it has to be. I'd agree.
I think on paper, yeah, like it is, but I haven't seen them a full throttle yet. Obviously, we're going to see them tomorrow, but I mean, time will tell. But it's definitely better than, as you said there, with the likes of Luke Gale and all that sort of stuff, 110%. So.
Very good, Daddy, yeah. It's only short of that, isn't it? It's only short of that.
I don't know what to say. Like, how do you respond to something like that?
I didn't know, I've heard of this word before, and I didn't know what it was, and I asked what it was, and I shouldn't have, but I don't think so. I wouldn't know. I wrongly asked what Winston's was, and then Danny told me what it was. So yeah, I'm not going back down that, because we haven't got anything like that here in Ireland. Not that I know of anyway, but I believe that is kind of a well-known thing in Leeds. But not that I know of, Jamie. To be honest with you, we wouldn't be your best to ask.
Meet us at the stadium. We'll go on the hunt to try for him.
Yeah. Stephen Bourne says, why did you mention Phil? Hey, you're trying to make me cry. I miss him so much. Yeah, me too, buddy. Yeah, me too. yeah, Shane Kavanagh would be your man to ask about that, buddy. He'd be the one to know. I don't know, actually. Hopefully your wife's not watching, buddy. On paper, yes. What do we know? Yeah, I would agree with that as well. What else have we got here? Pierre says, I think we'd have done well with last year's team. This year's is an improvement on that. Yeah, I would say. I think without a doubt, with the quality players that we brought in, especially as I said, the likes of Stack, have been waxing lyrical about him. I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the Premier League. Obviously, haven't seen Perry yet, but he obviously comes with with a good track record as well. Seems like a real solid goalkeeper. So yeah, I would say yeah. On paper, I would say yeah. But
I hope to see.
Look at the other side of it is as well, Dylan. Not to kind of go against Shane's question, but I think the quality of the Premier League has definitely gone up since the last time we got promoted as well. We've seen that gap, between the bottom three, the three that's been promoted from the Championship going up to the Premier League. The gap has seemed to got bigger since the last time we were in the Premier League. So it's just how much we can make up that distance for me.
I think I want to see someone take a set piece other than Jack Harrison. Obviously, I know he's probably going to be our main one, but like looking at Stack in the last pre-season game, what a cross it was. Like, and you kind of want him in at the end of it because the height of him. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Stack. I think he's going to be tremendous this year. I really do.
Yeah, I really look forward to it. So Shane said right down will be grand. I hope it's as easy as that, buddy. I really do. I hope you're right. Great question, Shane. I think this squad is better. We went up with Elland, Dallas, etc. And yeah, without Bielsa, it never would have happened 100%, buddy. Yeah. Water into wine, that man was water into wine. Look at our front three last time to the Premiership now. Yeah, 100% I agree. Yeah, I agree with you, Ian. Definitely. We have a stronger squad this time, says Michael as well. Yeah, definitely. Bielsa was the difference with that squad. Yeah, I'd agree. Right, Dylan, let's move on then, and let's talk about the other one that we were linked with, and it was Ben Doak from Liverpool. Look, I think my opinion on Ben Doak is that he is a good player. He definitely has a high ceiling. He's only 19 years of age. He's obviously played at Liverpool, good experience. I've actually watched Liverpool a little bit in pre-season, and what I've seen of Ben Doak, he's good, really, really good player. But I'm just not quite sure, Dylan, if it's what Leeds United need now. One, the position is obviously very much off that right wing. I think we need a left. And two, 19 years of age, it's a lot to kind of hang your hat going from someone like Pajel to Ben Doak. But again, if this was a loan one, I'd be all over it. I think it would be a great one.
Yeah, look, he obviously wants to go and play football. I think Elland probably would suit. But for Leeds now, I have to agree. I don't think so. I think we need to be kind of, as you said, that kind of marquee, stardust kind of player like Bijou or like just someone, that that's ready to take that step up. No disrespect to Ben Doak. I think, as you said, I think Elland probably would suit. But, maybe the following season when we stay up, I don't know. I'm a bit iffy on that one. I think it's the age that's thrown me off. But he does need to go play football.
Yeah, look, I didn't agree with you. Look, we seen him last year. He was on loan with Bordeaux as well. 24 appearances for Bordeaux and 3 G&A. Look, again, the stats isn't great, but again, it's not always about the stats. He's very much like the pre-assist. He's always kind of involved in the lead-ups. The pre-assist, I kind of call it. But yeah, as I said, look, a very, very good player. I would like him at Leeds United 100%, but am I turning around and saying that this is your right winger, this is your attacking player, to go do it? I'm not quite sure for 19. It's a lot of pressure, and possibly to be fighting relegation this season with very little kind of inexperience, playing Premier League football as well. But look, as I said, yeah, if this one came up where potentially Liverpool would turn around and let him go on the loan, now look, it is reported Liverpool do want to sell him, and the fee is reported 20 million as well. So again, 20 million for a 19-year-old, it's a bit steep as well.
It's a sting. It'll be a little bit of a sting. Liverpool will be rubbing their hands, and it'll be. I'd probably be raging. And no disrespect him at all. I think he needs to go play football, but it's not even that. Like, even if we did sign him, is he gonna get ahead of the likes of Dan James? Ramazani, Nando. You just potentially. I'm not saying he won't be, but it's a lot. Like, it's very young on that side at the minute. I think Dan James probably be the oldest out of them all, would he? For the wingers.
Dan James would be, yeah.
Yeah. And like, this is definitely going to be a season for me anyway. I think just a little bit more stardust, that kind of more quality, Look, I'll put it out there. Like, just give us another Rafinha. We're not asking for much.
Yeah, Dylan, and Pajero, look, he was the one, wasn't he? He was the one that we all thought that we all thought that he was the one. He was the one. He was going to be the next Rafinha replacement, wasn't he? We all fell in love with him even before we had him, but what can you do? Not bitter about it at all. Not still thinking about it. And lying awake at night, crying myself asleep or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of money, given still the positions we have to fill, could only be a loan given where we're at. Yeah, I'd agree. I think the loan situation.
I think it's the money as well, though, and the age. It's just a lot. Like, it's a lot to demand upon him at a young age as well.
Yeah. Stephen Bourne says here, if we stay up, lads, chat, who do you think goes down? I think you can't look any further than Burnley. I think, and again, look at this, it's 100%. This is my Leeds hat on my head. I think probably Burnley, Sunderland definitely have a massive gas to bridge, but they've done, yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Sunderland, I think, would be down there. Everton, look at they have Moyes there as well, but I don't think Everton have recruited quite well. I'm now they've got Dewsbury Hall in now. I think is a decent.
I think Brentford.
Brentford could be knocking down around there as well. I'm interested to see what Wolves do as well.
Potentially West Ham as well, actually.
Yeah, I don't know about West Ham. I think West Ham will be alright because I think Potter's a very good manager, Dylan, and I think they have a lot of experience there to kind of be in on a scrap. But you just never know. Look at Spurs last season, finishing 17th. You just sometimes it could be any random year that the Premier League throws up a surprise. But any three apart from us, Stephen, that's what way I'll answer that one.
I just.
Jam says, I think Dillo mentioned earlier about Solomon signing. I'd rather have that than Doak. No doubt on Doak is a talented player, though. Yeah, that's probably a good one as well, Dylan, isn't it? To come back, yeah.
I just think it's a no-brainer for Solomon. Look, if he doesn't want to be here, I get it. I do, but we know what way he is. We've seen him play. He gets the city, he gets the club. It's kind of tempting not to, like, you know that kind of way.
Yeah. Josh McCarthy is here, and I know Josh is a Liverpool fan as well, but has a soft spot for Leeds, don't you, Josh? Says Doak is a cracking player, so it's coming from a Liverpool fan, lads. Trust me, watch him a lot. In the academy at Celtic as well for a few games that he's played as well. Yeah, look, I don't think there's any doubt that he is a cracking player. I'm just not sure if he's what we need right now, and exactly what Matt says here. For me, he's the right player at the wrong time. If we were established, that would be great as well. Yeah, that's probably puts it to bed, Dylan. That's exactly Matt's kind of has it on one there, doesn't he?
That was perfect, that was.
Yeah, 100%. Right, Dylan, let's move on and let's eventually talk about Matteo Joseph, and hopefully this is the last time that we have to speak about him. Look, it looks like it's very much close, Dylan. to being announced that he's going to Mallorca on loan. Believe, Dylan, that it's going to be a straight up loan, no obligation, no option to buy. I think this suits all parties. Are you happy enough with this one? Because I know you were kind of thinking about the PSR side as well. If we kind of offload him, doesn't want to play for Leeds, wants to be elsewhere, we get PSR. Profit if he does go, very good PSR profit if he is sold on. So what are you thinking of the loan one? And if he does do well and comes back to Leeds, potentially what's he up against next season?
As everyone just called him a rat in the chat there, I just like if he had went the right way about it, I don't think I'd be too pushed on the fact of letting him go. Now on a loan, of course. From a PSR perspective, obviously there was bids that they come in at the start of the window, and obviously last season obviously was different. But now sometimes it's kind of hard to say now if the figure was right or the figure was above than what you expected him for. But I think it's simply down to off air what you said to me, Darren. It was actually your quote. If you had went into Daniel Farke, I sat him down and said, "Look, I didn't have a tremendous season last year. I didn't get a whole lot of game time last year. I know you put a lot of trust into me, but I want to go play football." He clearly knows Leeds are looking for another striker. Bamford's on his way out. So you've Pirro, you've Nemecha, this new striker. Potentially he's going to be the third or fourth pick. So it doesn't really make sense to keep him here in that sort of narrative. But I think a loan is the best possible thing that you could do for his career. But I'm annoyed at the fact of the way he done it. But I'm actually happy to see him go on loan because he could come back and, not trying to upset anyone, but make a name for himself and change it around like what previous players have done. Because let's not forget, Nanto done it. They've done it. They're naive. They're young. They're good. They've agents in their ear. There's money in their ears. It's going to happen. It shouldn't happen. It's horrible the way it's going in football, but it's going to happen and it's going to continue to happen.
Yeah, like as I said, I'm just kind of eventually happy that it's been put to bed one way or another. Even if it was going to be sold, I think I would have been fine. All right with that. Let's get PSR. He's gone on the loan. Fine. Look, go do your bit. Hopefully he does rip it up at Mallorca. Hopefully he comes back. With a higher kind of sell on value then for next season as well, which will be obviously better for us again still to get PSR profit on as well. But more so, I'm looking at it, Dylan, from the footballing side of things for this team going into the Premier League, is that we don't need these distractions, Dylan. We don't need this hanging over one Daniel Farke, potentially if the season starts and there's still a conversation there. Matteo Joseph, is he going here? Is he going there? We're going to try reintegrate him. Very much like the Nanto situation. I didn't really like that because I think it upsets the dressing room.
It's just putting a negative impact on the club.
I'm a big believer in unity in dressing rooms as well. And obviously, I played football when I was younger, for nearly 20 years, and not at a high level at all, but it's still the same that when you feel like a dressing room is together and you've got a group of players that are pulling together, are good mates, all for one goal, you always do well, you always win things, you're always successful. And then you might have one bad egg in the camp and it can upset everybody else. And that's what I feel like is a similar situation, like what happened with Nanto and what Matteo Joseph has done here. And you hit the nail on the head, Dylan, as well. It was just the way that he went about things. If he kind of just, had went about it in the right way, went to pre-season, went over to Germany, sat down with Daniel Farke one-to-one as a man and said, look, I want me loan move. Let me go out there and let me prove myself. I know where I'm at the minute. I'm only 21. I know you are looking for a striker. Let me go play football. Let me learn my trade elsewhere and I'll come back here ready to fight for next season. And I'm sure any man would not turn around and say no. You're going to turn around and say, yeah, look, go get your experience. But down in tools and the way that he done it, Dylan, for me, it isn't right. You look at the likes of Joffrey, what he's done, gone about it the right way. Could have easily thrown his toys out of the pram.
Didn't.
He went down under 21s. He's going to get his loan move to hold a chance to, go and play football. And he 100% deserves it. So, look, he's still a Leeds United player. I hope he goes there. I hope he rips it up, as I said, because if he does, it only benefits us. You'll probably have some fans, if he goes there and as an absolute flop and can't score goals, you'll have, fans retweeting it and saying, I told you so, he's not good enough, he's not this, he's not that. But realistically, the only thing you're doing is negatively impacting the football club, because then his value drops and then he's no good. He still has to return to us. So I hope he goes there and absolutely smashes it up. Dylan scores bags, load of goals, as you said, comes back to us. Can we try reintegrating back into this team next season, or do we sell him on and get the money that we all want for him?
That's what I'm saying. If it's a win-win, let him go on the loan. He's banging in goals for Spain on the 21s. If he can go banging goals now for Mallorca or whoever, he does end up going for. It's the right way to go about it. He's asked and Leeds have delivered and he's went and scored a load of goals. Potentially then, if he's willing to come back, and hopefully, well, we will be still in the Premier League, he's given a chance to it on this side, and then on the other side, he'd probably double the value. So it's a win-win for us if he goes and does the right thing. And yeah, look, it's just the way he done it. He shouldn't have been a child, or people call him a rat about it. He should have just done the right thing, sat Fark down man to man. You know, I know the agents are always going to be in their ears, but like no football club in the world is bigger than you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. There was still a kind of a part of me that I want to see, and obviously there was a picture that was circulating of him in the airport about the travel to Mallorca, and I'm a little bit like, just the way you done things, Matteo. And I think because I was very much, very interesting to see what way his career went, and I follow him on social media, and he was always kind of putting up stuff of, the right sort of train, and, constantly wanted to prove himself, and I was genuinely in the fray that, this is a player that wants to improve in all aspects of his game, and I just didn't think he'd have it in him. Look, we spoke about it, obviously just very badly ill-advised, but look, we'll keep an eye on him through the season. I'm sure, as we go through OnlyLeedsBros, we'll have a chat about it and, kind of see how he's getting on, whether he's proven himself there or if he's not. And we'll keep a close eye on it as the season goes on, 100%. Let's get into a couple of the comments then, Dylan, see what people have to say then about Matteo Joseph. So, Robbie here says, Joseph was not broken through at Leeds. Loan equals good move. Yeah, I think easily put 100%. Yeah, cutting all the kind of rubbish out of it, you're 100% right. Joffrey, the same age as Joke, arguably had similar potential. Yeah. Joffrey was the one, Dylan, that when he came in, we thought he was the next big thing. Didn't we? The Wayne Rooney that was gonna light it up. And look, he had his sparks, didn't he? It just feels unfortunate with Joffrey. It potential to be very good, didn't it?
Wherever he ends up in his career, I'm going to follow it. I really do like Joffrey. I really do. And, I'm sad to say that it didn't really work out for him because he's just a genuine lad and he gave us good memories.
Yeah, 100%. Ian Moore's gone back to Matteo Joseph here. He said he won't play for Leeds again. He will be sold eventually. Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably the feeling, Ian. I'd agree with you there, buddy. It's all about increasing his value as an asset now. That's it, Dylan, isn't it? And you have to be, as much as you might look through with gritted eyes. It was a similar situation at Harrison as well, Dylan. Like realistically, if Jack Harrison went to Everton and probably done decent enough, then we wouldn't have this situation that we have with him either. It's the fact that he went to Everton, look at he went back on loan the second season. It was the fact that last season that he was very poor, that they were kind of happy enough to kind of say, yeah, go on, head back to Leeds there. So, and you can be left with this kind of sort of situation. So, yeah, I hope he, goes and rips it up, and then we'll see what happens then next season. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But ultimately, I'm happy that he's out of the company. We also have to sort out the Patrick Bamford situation as well, because we obviously know what Fark has done there with him. Told him he's not part of the plans. Is he going to be down in the 21s? Is he going to be knocking about? What's that situation? So I'd kind of like to see the situation with Patrick Bamford be resolved as well if he's going to get his move, because you don't want any of these situations in the way when we start this season.
Exactly.
Josh McCarthy says, a lot of potential there in Joseph with the way he's handled the situation. I think you should hope that he hits the ground running over there and heightens his price tag for next season for you. Yeah, nail on the head. Yeah, 100%. Definitely, buddy. I don't like having a go at players, but he had the biggest grin on his face yesterday when you had to fly past you to a holiday. Yeah, and that's what I was kind of alluding to as well, Danny. It was a grin on his face arriving there, like he was arriving at Real Madrid as some sort of kind of like superstar, and I'm like, yeah, just the right way to go about things, Danny. So yeah, I'd agree with you there as well. It was just the grin that he had on his face. Massive ego for me, Joseph, when we needed to get rid of his agents in his ears. Young, but at the end of the day, he chose to leave and honestly wasn't good enough. Simple as. Sorry, Sage doesn't come into. Oh, sorry, Sage. I think it's Age doesn't come into it. He refused to join up with the pre-season audio rats. Yeah, he should have joined up with the pre-season. 100% got himself fit and ready to rock. What else have we got here? We've got one here from Jam. Sorry, excuse me. It's just the way that he went about it, which is frustrating for all of us fans. He should have had a meeting with Fark. He still trained with us, and in the meantime, remained professional. Yeah, exactly. I think we're all kind of in agreement. I don't see anyone kind of going against this one here. Anyway, hope he gets goals, makes us money. Says Danito. Yeah. 100%. Bettis is such a slimy. Yeah, 100%. And it was the fact, didn't he turn around and say when he first heard of or when he first spoke to Mallorca that there was only one place he could go, and it kind of felt like he was slightly having a dig at Bettis as well. 7 players in, only 1 has previous played in the Premier League. Good signings, but improving at this level, lads, says Richard Todd. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. And it's just the chance you take, Richard, isn't it? Of the players that we're getting in, obviously come with good reputation from other leagues, obviously lower than the Premier League. But then you look at Tanaka coming from Bundesliga too, who was a very, very good signing. So it can work both ways, but I agree with you as well. Unproven. Look, a lot, Dylan, we've said it so many times, haven't we, throughout this transfer window, that all these players, every one of these players will have a question mark over them. Can they step up to the Premier League? The ones that were here last season, your Ampadu's, your Piros and all that. So it's them to go and prove it, isn't it? And put themselves in the best fray to go and do that.
I think it'd be in their best interest for themselves and their careers if they do, potentially, because of what the 49ers have sold to them. I think there's a good few that will. I'm not going to name them, but I do genuinely think that there will be. Tanaka is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I'd agree. What else we got here? Excuse me. I know he's made of glass and all, but would you contemplate taking a punt at someone like Calvert-Lewin? If fit Calvert-Lewin, yeah, 100%. But he's just broken, Dylan, isn't he? I think he's very much.
He's more broken than me, and I'm broken.
I kind of look at him more like the Everton Patrick Bamford, Dylan, like a very good player if he can stay fit, but he just can't.
Was he not getting linked to Scum for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, there was talks about I don't see it happening, Dylan. I just think his injury record there is just it's been appalling, and I think it's a massive risk, isn't it, Dylan, going after someone like that? Basically pinning your bets on him that he's going to be, your number 9 striker in the Premier League season. Now, look, if it works out and he stays fit, well, then it would be a cracking signing, but it's a massive risk, I think.
No, it wouldn't be for me at all. I'm being honest with you. I don't really like him anyway. I don't think
it's what BMG says here is just too risky, especially regarding injuries. Not for me. That's just what I'd be thinking myself as well. I just think we need to get this right. We need to make all the right decisions to give ourselves the best fighting chance, and that just feels like a risk that too far for me. Understandable, but his experience in dogfight survivals could help the lads around him. Yeah, look, he possibly could, buddy, but it feels like a bit of a push to me.
You might get one fight out of him. That'll be that for him for the season.
Yeah, gone then. CB says, when we finished 9th, how many players had previous Premier League experience? Exactly. But with Bielsa, it was just God, absolute God. At least we're not getting players from the Austrian League. At least we're not back signing the likes of Rasmus Christensen and stuff like that, buddy. Yeah, so love. We're definitely trying to start to find the silver lining in the clouds here at the minute. Richard Todd, the difference between our signings are from Bundesliga and Liga 1. Which is why they're better than what we've done before. I think we'll cope. I think so as well. As what was said there as well. At least we're not shopping in the kind of the Australian league. It's the Bundesliga and the French league as well, Dylan, which is a particularly good standard.
Yeah, definitely. No big tall mad lads as well. Pure lunatics.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely 100%. Pierre says here, do you think the interview with Fark about not staying up without signings was a dig at the 49ers or a game? Yeah, I definitely think it was. Not, I wouldn't say it was a dig at the 49ers, but it was definitely, he was still making his feelings known 100%. And we've seen Fark doing it before, especially about the number 10 in January. He said it a couple of times about wanting to get a number 10 in, and ultimately we didn't. So, look, it was said earlier on in the chat as well, like the 49ers know what we need. Adam Underwood knows what we need, and Daniel Fark certainly knows what he needs because he said it in the game after the Villarreal match. So, look, they know what we need, and look, we know what we need, and it's just a matter, Dylan, of just going and doing it and getting it done, ASAP, isn't it?
Look, you hit the nail on the head. Fark is a very honest man, and that's what I like about him. He says it how it is. I wouldn't say it was a dig, but it was definitely, letting us know and the world know more or less that he knows what positions and what we're like at and what we need. But it's simply up to the 49ers. That's what it's down to. That's it. That's all you can kind of really say on it. I do what you said a while ago. That's kind of at the start of the video. The names that were being linked to it, there's very few of them. That's the issue. It's very slow and dead in the water. So a bit of more noise potentially.
Yeah. Right, Dylan, let's move on, and we move on from transfers. Look, as you can see, lads, it's still very thin on the ground at the minute. There's still very much credibility behind what we've been linked with at the minute, and I think that's probably where the frustration comes from Leeds fans. Look, on Monday night's live stream, we said hopefully by Friday that, you know, dominoes fall and we've 1 or 2 in the door before the AC Milan game. Look, it hasn't happened. But Dylan, let's end the stream on a little bit of a positive. Obviously, tomorrow, look, as we know, it's going to be a fantastic day. You know, whether you're going to be at the game, whether you're going to be watching from afar. One, obviously, for us and the Irish Leeds fans, Dylan, like it's a massive day tomorrow for us, isn't it? And like as we said at the start of the stream, look, Leeds have been over here before. League One Leeds have been here before. But tomorrow is just going to be a special day for us, isn't it? Like in our national stadium, 50,000+ Leeds fans against AC Milan, Premier League, Leeds United. It's just, as I said, look, it's just a stuff of dream for Leeds fans tomorrow, isn't it?
Look, it's the sort of stuff that we all dream of, especially being Irish Leeds fans. You know, it's, you know, me and you're going to Leeds. Well, I know you were going more than me, but I mean, you know, we try to get over as much games as we can. You know, it takes a lot of sacrifice, let's be honest with you, in the sense of the kids, work, money, you know yourself, but it's dedication at the end of the day. So I'm just thrilled that they're coming over, and especially for the fact that 51,000 people, and then obviously a big club like AC Milan. What's not to like about it? And, you know, it's just a pre-season as well, in the sense of we get to see what way potentially is going to be setting up, and then all these new players are full, well, let's say half throttle before the Monday comes. So I'm really buzzing about it. There's loads of people texting me, there's loads of people tweeting me and stuff.
To meet up and all, yeah.
I can't wait to meet everyone. You know, it's just going to be a great day. And then, you know, like that, the Camden as well, just to meet everyone again after. So hopefully the weather is nice. Hopefully we get the win. And I hope everyone has a great time and safe. I really am looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too, Dylan. As I said, look, I'm definitely going to be like a 10-year-old girl in my bed tonight thinking Santa Claus is about to come, and when that alarm goes off tomorrow morning, it's just, I'm going to be singing, you know, lead songs are going to go on. I'm going to be absolutely buzzing, singing at the top of my lungs in the shower, getting ready to go. So, yeah, look, absolutely buzzing, looking forward to it. I'm going to read something out here. It was a tweet that I put up on the OnlyLeedsBros Twitter post last night. I wasn't going to read it out, but a couple of people were DMing me saying, you know, you have to read this out on your Friday night stream as well. So look, I'm going to read it out. I was a little bit kind of sloppy last night going to bed, so forgive me, and I know it will be a little bit kind of emotional, a little bit sloppy, but just bear with me anyway. So I put this up on our X last night. So goes, as Leeds United are set to travel to Dublin this weekend, it's hard to put into words what this means as Irish Leeds fans. Supporting Leeds from Ireland has always been more than just football. It's been about loyalty and love from afar. Them early mornings, late nights, dodgy streams, saving up every penny to fly over to Elland Road whenever possible. Through the ups and the downs, the love that has never faded. Watching matches on TV and envy, just wishing to be at Elland Road. It's in the blood, passed down from my dad, shared with my brother and my sons. We live it every week. So to have Leeds United playing here in Dublin against AC Milan in our national stadium, it's emotional, it's joy and it's pride. Seeing the white shirt on Irish soil means the world. And to our brothers and sisters of Leeds, we welcome you to our city with open arms. Dublin is ready. Ireland is ready. Let's make this a weekend to remember. One club, one love, one massive family, united by the badge. Welcome to Dublin, Leeds United. You've always had a home here. Marching on together. I had to read it out because there was so many saying read that on your stream tomorrow night. So you got a good bit of feedback on it, and a lot of people saying it's absolutely class. And people that we haven't talked before, not even supporters of the channel, were sending messages of travelling over to Dublin, saying that kind of put them at ease, because obviously, you know, the English travelling over to Dublin, what way is it going to be received? And they just said it's fantastic to, you know, to see a message like that, and all the messages that we received, that all Leeds fans that have travelled into Dublin and Ireland today have been welcomed with open arms. So it's just quality, Dylan. And we're obviously Irish, but we very much, you know, at times feel like, you know, we're from Yorkshire, and there's definitely a bit of Yorkshire in us, don't we?
It's there, all right. It'll never go for some reason. It's like, you know, when you're so passionate about something and you watch it week in, week out, and you sleep on it, you dream about it, you know, it's a never-ending thing. The last thing you think about working on sleep is Leeds. First thing you wake up in the morning is Leeds. It never stops, so it's in the blood. It'll never go. And, yeah, I hope everyone has a good time tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be quality. Amy Clark says, can't wait tomorrow, which is, lads, yeah, it's just, it's going to be class. Really, really looking forward. We get through the last couple of the comments here. Shane Kavanagh in the Camden with two bin dipper fans who are wearing Leeds jerseys, going to make a show of them. As always, I wouldn't have it any other way, buddy. Take care tomorrow, guys. Have a point for me. We certainly will, buddy. Nice early start tomorrow morning. Can't wait. Thanks for the show. Keep positive. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, we try to be as positive as we possibly can, buddy, and it's all down to you, guys. We'll try to get to the Camden to you boys tomorrow after work, lads. He'll keep you updated 100%, buddy. Yeah, we are going to head back to the
Give us a lift home as well, will you, Josh?
Yeah, don't drink and give us a lift home. John Pepper, do you honestly think we'll get nobody else in? No, we're not going to talk about transfers anymore. We're going to end this on a positive. Oh, you nearly crying here. Yeah, probably crying, laughing, knowing you, Shane. Big softy, I'd say you're saying. You big sloppy head. John Pepper says respect. Love that, buddy. Great message and great sentiment. Yeah, cheers, buddy. Thanks for that, buddy. Pierre Dillo is always positive. Dylan's always positive ever since BNG is in the building to keep him in check. Dylan, BNG is always looking at you.
It's not worth to listening on a rant given out to me, so better off staying positive.
Jamie says, great couple of lads. Cheers, Jamie. Appreciate that, buddy. Sorry. Can you guys understand people who change allegiances to other clubs? I can't, buddy. I can't at all. I just... It blows my mind how people can do that. It blows my mind. Do you know what? It even blows my mind even more, BMG, and especially over here in Ireland. I'm not too sure what way it's like in the UK, but especially here in Dublin and Ireland, Dylan will tell you there's obviously like a lot of Man United fans, a lot of Liverpool fans, 30, 40, 50 years of age, and claim to be big Liverpool fans, will go to the pub every single week, but have never stepped foot in Liverpool, never stepped foot in Manchester, never been to Anfield, never been to a game and stuff like that. And look, it's no kind of shade to them, but I'm just like, you can't really turn around and slag us as Leeds fans, you know what I mean? When, we absolutely love it. We eat, breathe and sleep Leeds United every single day. We do our best to save our money. We work hard. We go over to Leeds. We enjoy it. And it's just, as I said, it's like Christmas. Every time we get up, that alarm goes off to travel over to Leeds. It's like an away day, even though we're travelling to Elland Road. It's just, yeah. But changing allegiances for me is just a complete no. Absolutely not. What about you, Dillo? You ever change allegiances?
No, definitely not.
I'll be back in the Camden after I see you for a point. Yeah, brother, definitely. I owe you a point, 100%. What else have we got here?
Shane's point.
Shane's point of points. Our mental health would be better if we could just change clubs, but exactly, buddy. But like Leeds is a tribalism. It's a club. It's a club like no other in the world. You know what I mean? And even all them ups and downs that we've had over the last 20 years, probably absolutely mad. All them bad owners, bad managers, bad players. Brink of extinction at one stage. Under Ken Bates, I still wouldn't change it for the world because it's just Leeds United. I just wouldn't change any bit of it. I just love the football club. Brilliant words, Darren. But no, well, not to have to get up at stupid o'clock to get a flight to stay in a hotel. Obviously, I'll never stop going, but tomorrow's just going to be epic and emotional to see. Yeah, look at just times we've travelled over to Leeds and the alarm goes off. You want to go to bed at like 10, 11 o'clock, and then the alarm goes off at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're about to travel to the airport to go out to Leeds for the day, and you're into Leeds and 7, 8 o'clock. They'll go to the match at 3, and then back to the airport at 8 then to get home. So it's
You're knee deep in points as well.
Yeah, quality, absolutely quality. We'll leave it at this from Robbie. Leeds United chooses you. Nothing you can do about it. 100%. Absolutely love it. Again, lads, thanks very much to everyone that popped into the stream on this Friday night. Thanks for bearing with us, because I know it's obviously very little, very thin on the ground, but as always, no matter what's going on, we'll always be live every Monday night at 8:30, every Friday night at 8:30, no matter if there's no news at all, just to come on and chat to you guys. So again, thanks very much for the support on the way out. If you don't mind, please drop a like on the video, and of course hit subscribe to the channel if you're new here. So we leave it all there. Anyone that's going to the game tomorrow, have a fantastic day. If not, hopefully Leeds United get the win, and we will be back again on Monday night for a live stream. So we chat you all again soon. Mind yourselves and mind each other.